You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Hello, and welcome to this special edition of GHS-TV's award-winning talk show, Crosstalk. I'm your host, Madisyn Rix. We are in downtown Memphis, home of not one, but 3 minor league teams. It turns out the Bluff City is the perfect place for these types of professional teams, and today we will get to know them better. Memphis 901 FC is the newest team on the block. They kicked off their inaugural season this past spring with much excitement and fanfare. I met up with the team's head coach, Tim Mulqueen, to talk about Memphis's love of soccer. Coach Mulqueen, thank you for sitting down with us.
It's my pleasure. I'm excited to have you all here, and it's great to have you, and it's a wonderful experience for me.
We are so excited to have 901 FC in Memphis. How or why was the team chosen to host a team in Memphis?
Well, it's a long process. So the ownership, Peter Frund, Craig Unger, and Tim Howard of international soccer fame pitched the idea to the city. And then when they got the approval for the city, they went to the United Soccer League, which is the USL, put together a bid package showing the economic impact of what the team could bring, season tickets, the type of team that we would have. After they got done doing all that, they were awarded the franchise last year to start play in 2019. And we've been excited about it ever since.
And a chance here for Memphis, and it's in! And Memphis 901 FC take the lead here in Talent Energy in the 58th minute.
Why was it important to bring this level of soccer to Memphis?
Memphis is a really hidden soccer gem. There's so many people who are passionate about the game here. So to have a professional team that is really the second level of in the soccer pyramid in U.S. soccer, to have that kind of quality and that kind of professional player here in the city says a lot for what people think of Memphis and how the fans are educated. And to bring something to Memphis, we want to make sure that it's first class. Because that's what the people deserve, that's what the city deserves. So to have the opportunity to bring a championship level team into Memphis was really the aim and the goal. And we feel like we've accomplished that part of it. And we have some outstanding players, and it was important to make sure that we have a team too that represents the philosophy of the city, that hardworking, honest, good people.
Coach Mulqueen, to say soccer is popular is an understatement. How has the more recent popularity in the U.S. brought more attention to 901 FC?
I think it's done a tremendous job of bringing attention to our team here, Memphis 901. There's more kids playing. I mean, soccer's on TV all the time, so you can watch it. So there's this renewed interest and enthusiasm in the sport. It's a sport where you don't have to be 7 foot to play, and you don't have to be 280 pounds to play. It's for us normal people, so it has an appeal that way. So yeah, the games on TV, the amount of kids playing, the amount of parents now who have played the game at some sort in their lifetime has all pushed this move forward. And we've seen the results here at Memphis with the outstanding support we get from the fans.
Foot race.
What a move by
able to keep it in play. Najem crossing,
what a play.
And it's in.
Do you think this has brought more people out to see a game?
Oh, 100%. Everywhere our players go and where I've been, people, thank us, one, for having a team, and they're excited about the game they experience. They come out, and, in soccer it's different. The fans are an important part of the game. They can interact, they light flares, they sing, they chant. So they're an integral part of the game. So yeah, it's absolutely brought people to the stadium, and I think parents now have had a positive experience themselves in the game, want to bring their kids and expose them to that experience as well.
Speaking of games, 901 FC plays here at AutoZone Park, which is a baseball field. How does a soccer field fit in it?
Pretty well. It takes a lot of work. They're transforming the field today, actually, for our game on the weekend. But the one thing I like about our stadium is we play close to the fans. So they put turf, grass, sod over the infield. They take out the pitcher's mound. They lay a beautiful sod field down for us to play on. And it works. It fits in nicely. It's one of those that you have to see it to believe it. But our grounds crew and our ownership has made sure that we have a really top-class facility, and it's an interesting transformation every week when they do it, but they get it done, and it's been great.
Have there been any scheduling conflicts with the Redbirds?
No, it's really worked out well. When we're home, they're away. When they're home, we're away. So the only disappointment is we don't get to see them play much, and they don't get to see us play much. But no, there's been no scheduling conflicts. We've been really blessed that ownership has worked with both clubs.
Let's talk about the players now. What is the tryout process?
So what we did was we had an open tryout for players here in the area or around the country who wanted to come and show us their abilities to see if they were up for professional soccer. So that was very well received. We had several people, a couple hundred people come out locally. Then we had an invite-only trial where we took some of the college players, collegiate players from the area and around the country and brought them in. And then, we acquired players from other professional teams that, were looking to either come to Memphis or were out of a contract. So it was a very long process, a very thorough process. I think for us, it was important that we had good character in the team because we wanted to represent the city well. We want our players to be in the community, getting out to universities, getting out to schools and churches and being part of the fabric of Memphis. So that was also part of our selection process, making sure we had those kind of players. I am proud to say that Jim Barkey, one of our goalkeepers, came all the way through the tryout process and was signed to a contract. So we were delighted that actually shows that it can happen. But it was a very extensive process, and we're really proud of the guys we selected.
Coach Mulqueen, how does the team prepare for a game on and off the field?
So I'll start with off the field. It's a 24/7 process. So, we make sure that the players weigh in and weigh out every day so they know how much fluids they need to replace. Basically, especially with the heat now we have in Memphis. Their nutrition is a very big part of it too, making sure they're eating, several good meals a day, and then rest. They have to rest. They don't live the normal life where when they leave here at 1 or 2 o'clock, they can go out and golf, or they need to go back and rest and make sure they're ready for practice the next day. And the training is hard. We train, 5 days a week plus a game on Saturday, so they have 1 day off. So the preparation for our team, we'll start early in the week preparing ourselves for what we need to do to be successful on the weekend. Then as we get closer to the match on Saturday, we focus a little bit on the opponent so that we know the ins and outs of what they want to do and how we can negate that. And then hopefully that all comes into place on Saturday. And then Sunday they come back in to recover. And then they're usually off on Monday. So it's a long process. It's mentally very challenging. We give them a lot of information on the players, on the opponent, on what we want to do. We show a lot of video of ourselves and the teams we're going to be playing. So it's a real education every week on how we're going to play, how we're going to win, and what the other team is going to do to try to stop us.
Coach Mulqueen, thank you again for sitting down with me. Enjoy the rest of your season.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate you coming out, and I hope to see you all at a game.
GHS-TV started in 1982, and it was just a couple of cameras, a couple of on-air personality, and it's really grown into what you see today. It's a multi-million-dollar studio with top-of-the-line technology.
Being able to operate, all of the machinery in the control room, being able to use all of our software and hardware that we have around the studio is a great skill because this is top-of-the-line equipment.
I feel like this class has brightened my horizon. It's something that I never thought I would be doing, especially as a student.
GHS-TV is probably one of the most hands-on experiences a student will ever get in their lifetime.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. Nothing really has just the vibe that we have here.
Especially after you finished, you get a real rush of, wow, I just did that.
By the time a student graduates from Germantown High School, they will know pretty much every position there is, from producing to directing to on-air work.
You learn time management, you learn organization, you learn how to work with people, how to better communicate with people.
We put a lot on them, and they have to be able to have the responsibility and the knowledge to get everything that we ask them.
I had very little experience, so in the past 3 years, the skills that I've learned have absolutely exponentially grown.
The class has actually helped me figure out that I want to go to college for journalism.
When a student graduates, they are the best possible version of themselves that they can be.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. From the Memphis Tigers to the Memphis Grizzlies, it's no secret that this city loves basketball. 2 years ago, the Memphis Hustle formed as a feeder team to the Memphis Grizzlies. I sat down with head coach Brad Jones to talk about how the team develops players for the NBA. Coach Jones, thank you so much for speaking with us.
Excited to be here, Madison. I look forward to sharing our story with the Memphis Hustle with the Germantown family.
This was your first year as head coach of the Memphis Hustle, so congratulations on that. How did the season go in your opinion?
Well, thank you. I'm very happy to be here. First of all, I have roots here in the Mid-South. I grew up in Nashville, and I went to school up in Jackson, Tennessee, and then got my master's from the University of Memphis. So coming back to Memphis in the Mid-South was a very exciting thing for me. My family and I have kind of been all over the country, so be able to be back in the Mid-South has been very exciting. As far as the season goes, we had a fantastic season. We had a winning record. We qualified for the playoffs. We had a big role in player development, which as we get into this interview, you'll understand why really the purpose of what we do. But we also had 3 guys that actually achieved call-ups into the NBA. So it was a very exciting season for the first year, and we look forward to the excitement going forward in year 2.
This year, Memphis Hustle went to the playoffs for the first time. What did that appearance do for the team's morale?
Well, it was very exciting for us, right? So this was the second year that the Hustle had been playing down at the Lander Center in South Haven. They had when the Grizzlies acquired the team, they played 1 year up in Iowa, but then they came down here for 2 years. So the excitement of the first time of being in Memphis and making the playoffs was a very exciting one for our fans and for our players.
It feels good, just ready to help this team get a lot of wins this year. Just excited to be back in the city of Memphis. I like Memphis a lot.
At any level you play at, when you have a chance to compete for a championship, it's exciting, and that's why guys play basketball, right? So, the G League's a little bit different because we play to get better in player development, but yet we still keep score, so we want to win. So when we were able to qualify for the playoffs and then win our first round playoff, it was very, very exciting. And we had guys like Javon Carter on our team, who was obviously an NBA player who with the Grizzlies was assigned, and Tyler Dorsey as well. And for those guys to be able to get to play in a playoff setting, it's very exciting for them, one, but it's also part of their player development, how they grow as professionals, so that hopefully they'll be able to go on and help the Grizzlies as they go forward in their career.
What improvements are needed to have a strong third year?
Every year we do a lot of self-evaluation, right? And the G League's kind of unique in the way of, there's a chance that we will have very few players back from this existing team. Our main goal in the G League / the Memphis Hustle is to try to help players grow and get better. We want to be a resource for them to be able to step on to the next thing, whether it's getting in the NBA like we had 3 guys this year, or going overseas to make a lot of money. So we won't probably have a ton of guys back on our roster next year that were here this year, which is fine. So we'll kind of regrow a roster and build out a roster that'll hopefully allow us to have similar success to what we had this year and maybe even farther to have a chance to compete for a championship.
You're in the middle of the off season now. What are you doing during this time to prepare for the upcoming season?
The G League is like the AAA baseball to the NBA. So the Grizzlies and us are very connected. and we spend a lot of time in the off season working with the younger Grizzly players, which there is some overlap because, you know, Javon Carter, Yuta Watanabe, Julian Washburn, Bruno Calabico, those guys who have played in and out with the Hustle are still growing their craft with the Grizzlies. So the Grizzlies incorporate us in the summer workouts so they can get some follow through to hopefully help them build up to go on to next year. So our main off-season focus is working with the Grizzlies players on the court and helping them grow.
As a new coach, was it hard for the players to adjust to your style of coaching?
I think we had a pretty easy transition. I'm a new coach to the Hustle, but I've been coaching for a lot of years. So over the years, I've gained experiences in how to, you know, incorporate your system, how to get to know the players, and just know that there's a process of, you know, step by step of how you get familiar with each other. So, you know, and any time there's newness, there's going to be some bumps. But overall, it was a pretty easy transition, and mainly because our guys were just great guys and bought in pretty much from day one of what we're trying to achieve.
The team is really new, only 2 years old. Can you talk to me about how it was formed or founded?
You know, there's now 27 of the 30 NBA teams own or run a G League team. You know, just 5 years ago, there's probably about 13 or 14. So you've seen a lot of exponential growth in the G League in the last 5 years. The thought process behind a parent club, in this case the Grizzlies, owning a team, is you want to have control of basically developing two things. One, players that you may draft, young players that maybe still need some seasoning on how to play the pro game. For instance, Javon Carter was a second round pick for the Grizzlies last year. He played about 25, 26 games with us this year. So instead of him sitting on the bench in the Grizzlies games, he actually got great pro experience. There's this pool of players who don't get drafted or aren't in the NBA, but yet there's still a lot of great players out there that maybe just haven't, you know, developed their game yet or haven't been found yet. So we take those guys, and so does every other G League team, and we try to find that diamond in the rough, you know, the next guy that can come out of the G League and you know, and be a star for a team. And a great example we had this year, and Bruno wasn't, Calabico was not with our organization, but he was actually called up from the RGV Vipers and ended up starting games for the Grizzlies as the year went on. So, you know, that's the goal of all of us and what we try to do, and that's the reason why NBA teams have been so aggressive in purchasing these teams.
How does the Hustles assist the Grizzlies?
We're in a unique situation here because we are actually based out of the FedEx Forum with the Grizzlies. You know, the beautiful thing about being that connected is, you know, other than just trying to develop players, you know, you can do a lot of experimental things. I can go down a long list of how we help them, but I think just being there as an experimental piece and as a developmental piece is how we help the Grizzlies every day.
Why is Memphis Hustle a great addition to Memphis sports?
Well, first of all, that's a great question, and I get a little passionate about when I talk about why it's such a great addition, because, you know, when you go to these Grizzlies games, which, you know, I lived in Tennessee before I left a long time ago, I was in the NBA, so I was a Grizzly fan when they came, right? These games are awesome, right? You come to the big FedEx Forum, it's a beautiful arena, you know, there's 19,000 fans, it's great.
Grizz Nation, these ladies are ready to take the floor, so please give us one warm welcome for your Grizz girls!
Hey, this that great group out there, AV, got that dead top.
The reason the Memphis Hustle are such a great addition to the Memphis area is because it's the step below the NBA. You have guys who are this close to meeting their lifetime dream of getting in the NBA. And as a result, they go out and they practice and they play so hard. It's so fun to watch and so fun to be a part of. You know, most fan experience come up after the game is that when they come, it's their first time, they come and go, man, I didn't realize how hard these guys play and how big and strong and athletic and how good they are.
It's just been absolutely outstanding to see the way these players have played this year.
You know, I know the whole entire city of Memphis is going to be rallying behind them, and in South Haven too, so I know the players can feel it, the fans can feel it, and I think it's just a really, really great thing for them.
But the other thing is, it's so intimate. Like, we play down at the Landers Center, it seats 7,000 people, but you're right down there on the court for the most part, After the game, they have autograph sessions with players after every game. So not only do you see them play hard and see these guys chasing their dream, I call it the League of Hope, right? Because they're hoping and dreaming that they get in the NBA. But yet you have that interaction with the players, and it just, it's amazing how connected our fans feel with our players.
Coach Jones, thank you so much for sitting down with us. Enjoy the rest of your off season and good luck next year.
Thank you. Excited to be here and share a little bit about the Memphis Hustle.
We see the potential in every single student.
That sounds like a confession to me.
I love watching these kids as they start as freshmen in high school and watching them mature and grow. It really is something special that is really what I love about my job.
At last, my right arm is complete again!
The theater program at GHS, it's something special.
It is very intensive, it's very interactive. When a student starts here their freshman year, they start with Introduction to Theater. And after that year, they have a choice to either go into acting or technical theater. And then after that, they join our production workshop class. It's the class that is completely run by students.
The students do mostly everything. We build the sets, we do lighting, we make the costumes, we do the shows.
It's very fun. I mean, everybody's very supportive of each other.
Now we're all in this together. It's taught me so much about how to act and how to have a stage presence.
Not only are we teaching the students the skills that they need to be a great performer or a great stage manager or a wonderful lighting designer, we're teaching them skills that they're going to be able to apply to whatever they do in their life.
You guys are fabulous!
This department not only makes wonderful theater, but more importantly, this department makes wonderful people.
For more information about the Kappa program, visit GHS-Kappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. The Memphis Redbirds are going for their third straight Pacific Coast League championship with new manager Ben Johnson. It's a homecoming of sorts. Johnson is a graduate of Germantown High School. Earlier, as part of another GHS-TV show, reporter Aaron Parker had the opportunity to talk with Johnson and discuss the future of the Redbirds.
Mr. Johnson, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
First off, welcome back to GHS. Is this your first time coming back to the school since you graduated?
First back here in the school since 1999. Yeah, it's a lot's changed in a lot of ways, but a lot is still the same.
So you replaced legendary Redbirds manager Stubby Clapp. How did you find out about the position opening up?
Well, I received a phone call from the Cardinals president, I guess maybe in November of last year, kind of asking me if I wanted to interview for that position. That's kind of how I found out about the opening of the job there.
How has the team handled this transition?
So far, so good, I feel. You know, it's always some adjustment period there with new management. But for the most part, this is something that a lot of the players have already experienced throughout their career. To be in AAA, most of them have some seasoning when it comes to just years played. I'd say a good bit of our guys have maybe 4, 5, 6 years of played professional baseball. So to have a new manager is nothing really new to them. It's just maybe kind of just learning what makes me tick, I guess, in a sense, opposed to, you know, what's different from Stubby.
So what advice did Mr. Clapp give you about taking over the Redbirds, and are you still in contact with him?
Yeah, I talked with Stubby quite a bit, and, you know, he was really good, and the biggest piece of advice he gave me was just to be myself. He and I are in communication pretty much on a weekly basis. If anything, just to kind of get an understanding of what our major league club is doing and what we're doing here in AAA. But, you know, Stubby's been a big help to me in a lot of ways. I still utilize just some of the rules and regulations that he put in place. So he's been a big help to me.
Baseball has taken you a lot of places, San Diego, St. Louis, Durham. So why come back to Memphis?
Well, it's home. It's where I grew up, and this was an opportunity for me to get a chance to spend some time with my father, you know, and a lot of other family. So to get the opportunity to come back to Memphis was really special for me.
Right now, the team is currently 17-15 for the season, with 7-6 at home and 11-9 away. So, is this where you wanted to be at this point in the season?
I'd say yes, yes and no. Obviously, you wanna be much greater than 500, but with that being said, anytime you play 500 or better on the road, and we've got an above 500 record at home. We didn't really have an expectation of exactly where we wanted to be. We wanted to just make sure that we were developing ball players. And in a sense, I feel like we're doing that. We've sent some young players to the major leagues that have gone up and done well for our big league club. And that's the goal. Go out, develop these young players so they can help our major league club win a championship.
There's still a lot of baseball left in this season. So what can we expect from the Redbirds?
We can expect those guys to go out and play hard. Play the game the right way. That's an expectation that I've set for them since day one, and I'm proud of the fact that they've met that expectation up to this point.
Ben, you have experience not only as a player, but also as a coach and a scout. How does this help you manage the Redbirds?
Good question. I just I feel like, having that broad of a background in a sense, I kind of have an understanding from my playing days exactly what these guys are going through. I've been a player in AAA that's gone up to the major leagues. I've been a player that's been in the major leagues and back in AAA, so I've got a pretty good understanding in a lot of senses what these guys are going through. My scouting experience really helps me when it comes to finding ways to engage and potentially beat another club. Get a chance to try and just utilize all my skills to help our club be a better ball club.
You were a Cardinals fan growing up, and you were even drafted by the Cardinals straight out of high school. So is this kind of like a homecoming for you, coming to the Redbirds organization?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's I was thrilled to get hired back on with the Cardinals. They hold a special place in my heart. Like you said, I grew up a Cardinal fan, and then was drafted by the Cardinals out of high school. So the opportunity to get back and help this club here in Memphis, it's a special one for me and my family.
As a Germantown High School alumnus, how did GHS prepare you for a professional career in baseball?
Hard work. Taught me how to work. And it wasn't, it didn't just start here, but throughout my high school days here, that was something that was imparted in me. I had great teachers here, had great coaches here, not only in baseball but also in football. And I made a lot of friends. So something that I've taken with me would be a work ethic.
And being a Redbirds manager has become a pipeline to the major leagues. The last 3 managers are now with the St. Louis Cardinals. Is this your long-term goal?
That's a good question, and really haven't put a lot of thought into that. I really love what I'm doing here right now, and the reason I got this position, or I took this position, was to help young players. So to look towards the major leagues, yeah, that's a goal in a sense, but right now the goal is to help these young players become better professionals and just really help them reach their potential. There were coaches for me along the way that changed who I was as a person and helped me fulfill my dreams. So that's what I want to be to them. If I go out and do my job, the rest will take care of itself. I'll be a major league coach, but right now that's really not on my radar. My radar is to help these young men develop into better ball players and better people.
All right. Thank you, Ben, so much for talking to us and stopping by here at GHS-TV. We wish you guys good luck on the rest of your season.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you having me. It's good to be back.
What a great time to be a Memphian. From baseball and basketball to soccer, there is something for everyone. I hope you enjoyed this special sports edition of Crosstalk. I'm Madisyn Rix. From all of us at GHS-TV, thank you for watching Crosstalk. I hope to see you again.